Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.
What's up, gang? Welcome to the G.R.I.N.D. Simon Arias here. Get ready, it's a new day. What's up? Welcome to another episode of the G.R.I.N.D. Get ready, it's a new day. And we're going to dig into the problems. Problems introduce us to others, and problems also introduce us to ourselves. They also introduce us to other people, but we get to introduce them to us because they get to see how we react. We get to see how they react. They get to see how we react. And so problems are the catalyst of some of this stuff. And so, I just had a lunch meeting with a close friend of mine, and we're having some conversations about business, and I'm helping him out with some things, and we're talking about it, and we got the whole game plan done, ready to rock. Everybody's excited, and I'm walking out. As I'm walking out, I said, now look, problems are going to happen. Things are going to pop up. And if this happens, do this. If this happens, just bottom line is, I told him, shit's going to happen. Okay? Well, it's one thing to build your plan for 2020. Congratulations if you built your plan for 2020, because most people didn't even do that. They didn't even draw up the blueprint to what they're about to do. Okay? But if you did, congratulations. But the next step is you got to mentally account for shit going wrong. There's going to be something's going to happen. We ain't going through a whole NFL season and some freak thing don't happen. Something's going to happen. You got to stay ready. I saw a quote where they were asking this general, ex-military general, question about a person, and he said, I'm not able to comment on his character because I've never seen him handle adversity. And I'm thinking, man, think about that for a second. I'm not able to comment on his character because I've never seen him handle adversity. It's like relationships. You never really know how close your relationship really is until you go through some stuff. As a friend, as a spouse, significant other, like the real test of a relationship is how much can you take and keep going and keep moving forward. Everybody can get it rocking when there's no problems. The separator is now, how do you handle it when there's problems? It's like, there's a big difference in boxing, hitting mitts in a punching bag, because there's nothing coming back at you. There's a very big difference between doing that and then sparring or fighting with somebody when they got the opportunity and they're going to be throwing punches back at you. It's easy to put your goals and game plans down on paper and talk shit about what you're going to do, but now it's live. Now there's going to be the world, and things are going to happen, and punches are going to be coming at you, and you got to slip, roll, return, fire, breathe, and make it out of that round and keep moving forward. When I look at business, I see, some people, they'll face a problem and they make it worse. Problems happen and they just make things worse. I feel like everybody has two buckets. Like everybody's carrying two buckets. One's gasoline and one's water. And how do people react to problems? Somebody, you could throw gas on the problem, fire, or you could throw water on the problem. The people that throw gas on the fire, those are people that are problems typically to the organization. There's a problem, they just accentuate that problem. They attract other complainers and problem seekers. But if you see nothing but possibilities, you get possibilities. If you see nothing but problems, you get problems. So there's people that they give up in the face of problems. Soon as they have problems, they give up. And then there's other people who use problems as stepping stones and launching pads for success, for greatness. I was reading a book, and I think it was called Cradled from Eminence. And it said, they studied the background of, call it 400 plus experts in their fields. And 75% of the experts came from poverty, broken homes, or difficult home lives. And more than 25% of them had some form of a physical handicap. That's people learning how to respond to a freaking problem. And what happens is when you go through problems, if you don't quit and give up, you're just going to become better. Like when you really look back on life, like the things that have happened to you, if you made it through them, they made you better, they made you stronger, they made you wiser. I've had people do certain things over, my close to decade and a half in business now that were just shady, just wrong, dirty, whatever. When I look back on it, man, I just thank you. Thank you. Because it made us better. It made me better. It made us a bigger beast. That don't kill you, just makes you strong. What was that, Kanye? What don't kill you makes you stronger. Like that's what it's all about. It's what don't kill you is gonna make you stronger. And so our job in leadership, if you're in leadership, is just to help people learn how to respond to problems. That you teach people how to grow through problems and deal with those positively from a positive perspective. So much of life is perspective and attitude. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond, right? We've heard that, how we react. Positive attitude creates a positive atmosphere. Great leaders don't have to be happy all the time or be a cheerleader all the time. But they do need to have a positive attitude. You got to have a good attitude. I think one of the most important traits of a real successful leader is a whatever it takes mindset, whatever it takes mentality. That great leaders are they're sold out on the mission. They're willing to pull, and they can pull out all stops to make their team win. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes attitude, I think sticks out to me and is common in all great leaders. Like, you must fight for victories during tough times. You got to fight. People want to get into business. I had to tell a friend of mine the other day, what are we going to, how do we deliver this? We ain't selling ice cream. That was my response. We ain't selling ice cream. Sometimes sometimes you got problems. Sometimes you got to just bite down on your mouthpiece and get it done. I think taking responsibility helps you for your own attitude, for how you respond, is going to determine your outcome, and it's going to help you grow. Like, disown your own helplessness. Stop thinking that you're not in control and that you can't help the situation, you can't help yourself. That's a victim mindset. The victim mindset is, there's nothing we can do about it. Stop making excuses. Never make excuses. Model an attitude of whatever it takes. Whatever it's going to take. Challenge people when you're leaders. Challenge people to learn how to accept responsibility for their performance. I think, You have to do that as a great leader. You got to make people feel valued. You have to make people feel that you appreciate them. And I think you need to give people constant challenges to grow. This is a big one. Don't just pass that one over. Like, if you're responsible for, yourself or in leadership, leading, constantly give your people or give yourself challenges to grow. You already did that. All right, what's next? Let's break this record. Let's get better in this area. Let's get better in the stand-up, or let's get better in leg locks, or let's get better in free throws, or let's get better in, like, where can we, or we already hit this much business, 50,000. I challenge you to hit 60. I challenge you to hit this number. Try to find ways to challenge people. Take responsibility in your own hands for where you're at and take the bull by the horns. Like, what do I really want? What do you really want in life? What is it going to cost you? And are you willing to pay that price? What is it going to cost? Think about, what do you want? What is it going to cost you? You know you can't get it for free, right? You know you can't see people living lives that you want to roll with. You want to live that life. You know you don't get to come in for free, right? You know you can't just walk in the door most of the time. So what's the cost? Figure out what that cost is, and then you got to ask yourself, do I want to pay that price? And if the answer is yes, when should you start paying the price? That today, right now. You're going to have problems. You're going to have failure. All real changes involve having some failure. True failure is a mark of accomplishment. Something new that you tried and it didn't, you didn't do great, but you keep moving, you keep pushing. Only people that haven't failed are people that haven't tried. So much of things is just trial and error. If you're already if you're doing something that you're already good at, then there's not going to be as much failure. But if you're going to be expanding, you're going to have some failure. You know what the formula is for an overnight success? You show up every day, you work hard, you try new things, you improve, you grow, you face challenges, you face rejections. You doubt yourself, you quit, but you don't really quit. You do this type of stuff for months and years, and you can become an overnight success. Understand that mistakes are only mistakes and only failure if you don't learn from it. Mistakes do one of three things. They typically will, make cowards out of people. And that's fatal. It can make people start to think about, I don't want to make any more mistakes again. So they start to have that and that's foolish. Or mistakes can develop a security in a person to decide that I'm going to learn from these mistakes and keep moving. And that's fruitful. And so failure is going to happen. It's all about how do you digest it in the right way. And so I just want to encourage you to stay committed. Stay committed as we wrap this thing up. Just so many people face challenges. There's somebody out there right now facing challenges and they're tempted to quit. Just got to hang on. That's one of the keys to success is you got to hang on longer than other people are willing to hang on. Like, you got to get through some shit. Commitment. Here's a quote for you. Commitment is the key. Until I'm committed, there's a hesitancy there's a chance to draw back. But the minute that I commit myself, then God moves also, and a whole stream of events begin to erupt. People, meetings, material assistance, and things begin to flow to me as long as I stay committed and have a whatever it takes attitude. And so let's chew up whatever problems that we're going through, and embrace that. Embrace any failures that are coming your way or that have come your way. Learn from it, grow from it, keep pushing, keep moving, keep grinding. And if you find any value in this podcast, can you just do me a favor, small favor, and just share it with somebody else. Let somebody else know about it. Share it so we can start to increase and impact more people's lives here. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you tuning in today to the Grindcast. Get ready, it's a new day.
Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.